day. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. Leon and Sammy are about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, don't tell them what to say. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. Leon and Sammy are about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show.
Welcome back to Tinfoil Haters. How are all you vital idols doing? I am stoked for this show because this has been highly requested by you guys in the chat. Several of you brought the Buga Sphere. I've said I want to do the Buga Sphere, and turns out I was wrong. I had the Buga Sphere confused with the Burt Sphere of 1974, 79, somewhere around there. And so this was a completely new learning experience for me. So yeah, we're gonna get into a very interesting, very recent conspiracy piece of alien technology potentially. Before we get into that, obviously I can't do this with my partners in crime. Sammy, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Sammy Threepeat. I'm just an 18-year-old kid on the way to California to make music, trying to make it.
Sammy Depp, you'll love to see it. Cinevere, what about you? Tell people who you are and what you do.
I'm the lady of the clinking. I have my own hot toddy here at the desk. I'm still a little bit sick, a lot better though. If I talk too much, you will hear the clinky. It's a good sound.
That works. As long as you're getting your throat nice and coated.
Nice and lubricated.
Yeah. But we obviously also couldn't do this without you guys in chat. We got Philip Morgan up in this bitch. Valiant Goat is here. Spectral Heartless. Garrett Targaryen. Crovax. We got Dex in our best mod in the whole damn land. Nice to see you, Dex. You were up very early or up very late. One of the two playing Guilty Gear Strive when you could have been playing Dragon Ball Z Universe with me, but whatever. Fallow Greenskin is here. Gal Carrymon, what is up? Scotty G. Sammy, of course, will be talking to you guys in chat. Luigi Frankenbob. C Brew is up in this bitch. Let's see. Of course, Cindy will also be talking to you guys in chat. You love to see it. We got Jake motherfucking Martin about to become a dad. Zelozy is here. The ever lovely Piranha Powder is up in this bitch. Let's see who else we got. That may be everybody. No, the Wayfair is up here. You love to see it. Free Expression Warrior, what is up? Found an Annie I watched for anime censorship and dedicated an entire live stream to smear Chibi because Chibi isn't against the strip anime. It was hired by. Yep. I think I heard about the individual you were referring to when we were streaming yesterday. LMA is here saying me, yo, y'all. How you doing, LMA? What is up? Johnny is here. Shout out, Johnny. Let's see. Is there anybody else? Do we get? Oh, no. Matt Funcool. You love to see it. Matt Funcool is up in this bitch. Butter framed in gold. What is up to you, sir? Obviously, we got bots over on Kick telling us how much we can make. We pay them an absorbent amount of money. So, yeah, never change, Kick. And slay every game. Awesome.
Every time I see the bots over on Kick, I'm always like, sucky, $5.
Yeah. See, the one on Twitch was always like, you want to get big follows? And I was like, no, not when you phrase it like
I just want to get big. Take that as you will. Alrighty, crew. Did anybody here besides me do any research on the Buga Sphere? Does anyone know what the Buga Sphere is? Turns out it is not a racial slur. What up, Bio T Wolf?
No, I'll be honest, I forgot the name.
I did some research. It was not what I was expecting. I was like, oh, it's like I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting a literal sphere. I was like, there was like, oh, there's like a dome that surrounds this certain area, or like something like that. But no, it's an actual sphere.
Yeah, it's an actual spherical object. It sounds like a sex act. Well, it is not a sex act. It is not a dome of some sort. It is an actual spherical object. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with sort of like the history of the Buga Sphere, and we're going to go through several news articles, all from roughly around the same time, because there is no dispute that this object exists. This is a real object. Where the dispute is and where the conspiracy lies is what this object actually is. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's start with some of the just the news articles from the time, around the time. May 12th, 2025. The Buga Sphere, the Buga UFO Sphere, I'm sorry, is this mysterious object sending us a sinister message. Speaking of sinister messages, what a frame to go over a two-banger. Me thumbs up you a long time. Me like you. I think it's supposed to be me like you a long time. Shout out. Thank you so much for the two-banger, homie. Absolutely appreciated. So, yes, from unusual symbols to viral videos, the Buga UFO Sphere may hold answers to questions we've been asking for years. And this is the sphere. This is an actual photograph of the object. This is 100% confirmed real. Just the question is, what the fuck is it? Could it be UFOs that made their way to Earth? And this time, they might be bringing something far more unsettling than we anticipated. Recent sightings across Colombia, particularly the baffling Buga UFO Sphere, may have left many wondering whether we are witnessing the first signs of extraterrestrial contact, or if there's something even more perplexing at play. The Buga
UFO lost a shock.
What?
A UFO lost a shock.
So that is some people's theory, that this is just some sort of ball bearing or something. On April 29th, 2025, the world watched in awe and confusion as a mysterious luminous sphere appeared in the skies of Buga, Colombia. This wasn't just another UFO sighting. It was something far more intriguing. The object was captured in two separate videos, one by a woman named Maria and another by a treasure hunter, which I didn't know was still a viable occupation. So in case the YouTube stuff doesn't pan out, I know what I'm doing with the rest of my life. It displayed intelligent, deliberate movement that didn't resemble anything conventional. Unlike balloons or drones, the sphere maneuvered in a way that seemed almost purposeful, and what followed was even more shocking. This object, which many believe to be another UFO, was actually recovered by a civilian, revealing a series of features that left researchers both baffled and alarmed. And what is also baffling and alarming is that you guys send us money. Scotty G with a two-banger. I was wrong. Here's my money. Shout out. Appreciate you, homie. And then Piranha Mountain coming in with a 99-cent super sticker. Truly appreciated, both of you legends. All right, so it goes on to say what we know about the Buga UFO Sphere. The Buga UFO Sphere isn't just your average UFO. This metallic object, recovered in March 2025, is made of 3 layers of metal-like material and is surrounded by 18 microspheres, all encasing the central nucleus. Some scientists and researchers have speculated this nucleus could be a quantum chip, adding to the mystery of its origin. X-ray scans of the sphere revealed no welds or joints, suggesting that it was forged as a single piece. But that's not all. The surface of the sphere is covered in symbols resembling ancient scripts, including Mesopotamian runes. Researchers believe the symbols might be conveying a message about unity, transformation, consciousness, ideas that some interpret as a call to humanity to awaken and help the planet. There are other unsettling reports too. Touching the sphere allegedly caused sickness, while pouring water on it made it vaporize instantly. Could be the work of an advanced alien technology, or is this an elaborate hoax? And let's take a look at the actual video. One moment.
Oh yeah, I saw.
What was that, Sammy? Go for it.
Oh, yeah. So I saw the original video, and something to note about this video, because this is just a segment. Another reason, that it's very it's very easy to kind of say that this is real, besides the fact that there's a bunch of pictures of it and everything. This video is 8 minutes long. Like the actual, there's not a lot of UFO videos that are more than like a couple of seconds, or very grainy. It was like you could see the treasure hunter, who's just, let's face it, a guy with a metal detector, and you can see.
Is he wearing the Indiana Jones style fedora though? That's what I'm curious about.
No, of course
not. Well, that he
had
completely fucking failed being a treasure hunter. But go on.
But Yeah, so but no, you see this and you see it like whiz by the guy who found it, and then you see it just kind of laying there, and then apparently what I heard after is like after it landed in that area, all the surrounding plant life died.
Yes, yeah, we will get into that because yeah, that is another thing that the surrounding plant life within about a 3-meter radius died and didn't recover for several months. Speaking of things don't recover for several months, Piranha Plant with a 2-banger had to do it. You're looking good, Leonidas. Why, thank you. Not half as good as Cindy and Sammy, but I do appreciate it. So here is the video. Now, this isn't the full 8-minute version. This is about 1.5 minutes, but I think it's still, obviously, we need to check it out so we know what we're referring to.
Ella dice que la esfera da vueltas como un trompo y ella llega hasta donde María y se trata de caer al suelo como quien dice, ya voy a caer porque no puedo levitar más. Ella se levanta altísimo y se va para donde José está.
O sea, en un momento determinado, ambos estaban grabando simultáneamente la esfera, uno desde un ángulo y otro desde otro ángulo.
When was this footage?
Al mismo tiempo,
April of
el mismo día,
2025.
2 de marzo a la 1:45 de la tarde. La señora María, que pues no me atrevo a decir su apellido porque pues no podemos hacerlo ya que no tenemos autorización de ella, pero María vive en las casas que quedan en las últimas cuadras del barrio y esas casas quedan lindando con algo que se llama un potrero. Entonces ella sale de su casa al potrero, se escuchan los niños desde la casa, se escuchan, porque en ese potrero es donde ya botan las cáscaras de papa, las cáscaras de sobras de comida que ellos dejan, las tiran allá al potrero para que las vacas se las coman. Entonces en este momento ella empieza a ver un suceso extraño frente a ella, que es levitando esa esfera. Ella se impresiona al ver esta esfera y ver que la esfera es extraña. Cuando la esfera se va hacia la montaña, empieza a alumbrar de colores. Alumbrar de colores, ya dice yo mismo dice en el audio, esta esfera está alumbrando. Dice, mire cómo alumbra. Y agarra a toda velocidad y se va para donde José está. Se devuelve donde José está y se viene donde ella otra vez. O sea, si ustedes pueden ver el recorrido de la bola de la esfera,
Not a fedora.
es el mismo día, a
Yep,
la misma
not a fedora.
hora, con 2 celulares grabados al mismo tiempo, señor. Es el mismo suceso, totalmente el mismo suceso. Pero ya venían fallando cuando María la vio de frente.
And yeah, so that's the video footage. Again, there's video footage from another angle. I had trouble finding it, but multiple reports do confirm that it does exist. The woman Maria that was filming stuff. So, what do you guys make of this before we go further?
Well, I don't want to brag, but I took high school Spanish, so I recognize some of those words.
And what did they say?
No, I have no idea, but I recognize them in Spanish. No, it's cool. I mean, obviously it's grainy, but you would think like it's not a huge object, right? So like zooming in like that, it would kind of be clipped, what is it, like pixelated, and
Right.
It doesn't appear to be following any sort of pattern. And from what I read on this thing, if you've read some of the theories that it's getting heavier because it's losing its energy to levitate, like it kind of makes sense with the trajectory where it almost looks like a balloon going in reverse. Like it's pretty interesting. And it's also flying in a pattern that would be hard to fake.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah, go for it, Cindy.
I think the one thing I hate most about 2025 is, in fact, AI, because like a part of your brain is now going to go, is this real or fake?
Yeah.
Using AI. And I would like to believe that this is an actual thing. And if
Well,
it
I will
is,
confirm for you that it is an actual thing, because when the Buga Sphere when it landed, it was physically collected, and it is currently being studied at Mexico's National Autonomous University.
well, I mean, like, yeah, that makes it a real thing, but it doesn't say if that footage is real or not. That's
Well,
me being practical, I guess.
Well, no, I understand the need for practicality, but I would also say that if multiple media outlets are sourcing the videos, they're sourcing the 2 individuals that recorded the videos, and the device has been, again, collected and is actually being, researched on at a research institute, that would pretty much negate the AI claims. I would think that most reputable outlets would acknowledge, hey, this was AI, especially nearly a year later when doing all the research on it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ireland There's a group of guys that built a perfect hole in Ireland on the beach, and the next day you had news crews out there saying it was a comet that landed there.
I
So
mean,
I'm
Right. That was the next day. And I would imagine within a year, there was probably several articles saying that, okay, never mind, this was a hoax.
okay.
also, there's like telltale signs that it's AI, and
None of
didn't.
them were there.
Yeah, none of them were there. I mean, the ball didn't turn into a giant cat, or
Yeah, you say there's
you know.
telltale signs. Well, he says Mexico is AI. Yeah, Mexico has cartel signs. Sorry, go on.
We're just quipping today. That's great.
So this article goes on to say, the viral videos and growing speculation. The strange occurrence didn't stop with the sphere's recovery. Videos of the Buga UFO sphere quickly went viral on social media, sparking intense speculation across the globe. Maria's video, captured on March 26, 2025. Sorry. So yeah, this happened in March. This particular outlet is from May. Okay, yeah, because I said April earlier. Showed the object floating and glowing in various colors as it zigzagged through the sky. The movements appeared intentional, challenging the notion that it was simply an accident or weather phenomenon. Second video, filmed by a treasure hunter with an electromagnetic equipment, like Sammy said, a metal detector, caught the object descending nearby, raising questions about its possible connection to the electromagnetic fields. The footage led to widespread viral content, with TikTok user JohnBoy's Creepy Content 416 posting a detailed analysis of the sphere's composition and extraterrestrial theories. YouTube also saw a surge of reaction videos, with some claiming the object was part of an elaborate UFO crash and others exploring the sphere's possible scientific implications. Ongoing investigations into the Buga UFO sphere. The Buga UFO sphere has become the focus of intense scientific scrutiny. Experts from various fields, including a team of German electromagnetic detection company, are analyzing the object, and their findings are just as baffling. The most shocking discovery: when the sphere was first recovered, it weighed about 2 kilograms, but when placed on a calibrated scale, it weighed mysteriously increased to 10 kilograms. Furthermore, some scientists are pondering whether the sphere is autonomous or if it is remotely controlled by an external force. Rumors about government and military interest in the investigation have also surfaced. While no official statements have been made, many suspect the agencies are monitoring the ongoing analysis. As of now, the question remains: what is the true nature of the Buga UFO sphere? So that is, this one article. We've got a couple more to go over just to show like what they have in common, what they don't have in common, things like that. So we got
I
this
saw
one.
the clip where they're talking about it on Joe Rogan, and it's about as basic bitch as it gets. It was like, actually, the design around the mushroom, or actually, the design around the microchip looks like mushrooms. Like, can you imagine?
Yep, that's a pretty Joe Rogan take.
Like, all right.
Let's see. So yeah, actually, let's do this one first, since this one's from around the same time. This is May 25th, 2025. So the previous one was May 12th. This one is May 25th. UFO discovered in Colombia. Scientist weighs in. A Colombian radiology specialist says the mysterious metal orb discovered in his country is an unidentified flying object of extraterrestrial origin, though experts remain skeptical of the claim. Jose Luis Velasquez, the radiology specialist, determined the extraterrestrial origin after inspecting the object and finding no marks indicating metal orb had been welded together or contained joined parts in any way, according to a post on X, formerly Twitter, from a creator who labels their content as entertainment. The object, known as the Buga Sphere, was discovered in Buga, Colombia earlier this year, according to the video on social media post. Images of the orb show a silver-colored sphere about the size of a bowling ball, covered in what appears to be foreign text and drawings. However, Dr. Julia Mossbridge, founder of the Mossbridge Institute and researcher, which, by the way, Mossbridge Troll, great magic card, affiliated with multiple universities and technology companies, expressed strong doubts about the extraterrestrial claims when contacted by Newsweek. Buga Sphere, I really suspect it's a piece of artwork, Mossbridge explained. It looks so human-made to me. And that's, after decades of denying any knowledge of UFOs, the Pentagon released a report in November 2024 regarding unidentified anomalous phenomenon following a congressional hearing, which, we all know about that. How the government is supposedly, giving us some sort of disclosure. I'm pretty sure all of us here doubt that disclosure.
Yeah.
Dr. Tim Gallaudet, a retired Rear Admiral U.S. Navy, was one of 4 witnesses who spoke during the congressional hearing about the UAPs last year. And again, none of this is about the Buga Sphere specifically until we get to this part right here. While Mossbridge thinks the Buga Sphere is an art piece, not a UAP, she says the object has allowed for more conversation surrounding the phenomena. If it's a UAP, I would be stunned, but it's possible, she said, cautioning the object found could discredit actual UAP investigations. Mossberg says there's been progress in wider publicity of UAPs, but she would like to see more cooperation between foreign governments to share data and lead to further knowledge and understanding amongst the human race. I think the governments need to think more about the psychological positive aspects of this kind of mysteries, because self-transcendence is often ignored as a motivating factor in people's behavior, she explained. When people start focusing on something that's bigger than us, it's really powerful and changes behavior for the better. Now, to me, this just sounds like a bunch of new age, hippy-dippy, we should tell everybody about the aliens because they'll bring humans closer together so we can all sing Kumbaya together around a campfire. That's how this reads
Good
to me.
fucking Lord.
Yeah.
They would, too.
No, it's Blue Beam.
Yeah, we've done a whole episode on Project Bluebeam. Make sure to check that out. States that people and governments continue to open to discover knowledge, but the unknown as a form of trying to explain that which we don't understand to quell our own fears. As humans, we want to feel safe, so we want to say this is how things work, Mossberg said. This real trick, Mossberg, I think they got it's. I thought it was Moss Bridge. Yeah, Moss Bridge. They fucked up there. It's a real trick of just noticing how human psychology works and allowing ourselves to know everything. The safest thing we can do is try to discover what's true. So what people are saying, Julia Mossbridge, MA, PhD, told Newsweek by phone Sunday, it seems to me we could explain the mystery and humility that UAP produce in people who've seen and experienced them. We'd use that as a way to bring countries together that are currently not together. The next steps for identifying the origin of the Buga Sphere are unclear. Mossbridge says there are several agencies that can study the object if given access that would be able to examine it. Says that people continue to experience and self-document these phenomenon. We should be able to grow our understanding of them. People can see what's in the sky. They can see what's in the water. I think the era of trying to hide things that are not hideable is over. Now, I disagree with, I hope it's over. I want it to come to an end. But I do think that the media apparatus that we have is still very good at hiding. Things are getting exposed faster. But the more you hide something and cover it up, and then when it's exposed, I feel like less people pay attention to what's being exposed unless it's something that directly affects them, like let's say the Somalian invasion or what's going on in Venezuela and stuff like that.
Oh, completely agree.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to care about this. Not as much.
What do you mean? Who's they?
People in general. I don't know if that would bring them together. A lot of them are concerned more about themselves at the moment.
Sammy, what about you?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these people, they've just grown complacent in it, even though like there's people like me running around going like, you're being lied to, and everyone's like, yeah, what else is new? It would have to be, the findings would have to be something so gargantuan that it would knock kind of people out of this
Stupor, I feel like.
yeah, I was gonna say like nonchalant attitude that they've kind of carried because it is, the media machine is very good at they'll write a story and they'll run with a story that's completely false, and then when they're called out on it, they'll write a retraction, but it's always on like page 4, right?
Right, exactly. Now, speaking of things being completely false, also real quick, I'd care more if Venom was here, but there are always some videos on that. We actually did a full episode on that. You should check it out.
We did.
So far, we've read these 2 stories. We've got 2 more to go over. What do you think? Is this a false narrative? Is there any truth to this? Like, what are your initial opinions just hearing this story? Cindy, let's start with you since you have no knowledge of this. You're just now learning about it.
I would like to believe that this is real. Like, I genuinely do. Because
I mean the framing of the article, specifically the people writing about it, not whether the Buga Sphere itself and all that's true. Like, do you think the people writing about it are being honest?
I don't know. I don't trust media very much, so that one's going to be a
Based
little.
answer.
Yeah. So for me, it's like a healthy dose of skepticism.
Sammy, what about you?
Yeah, I'm willing to believe like my neighbor with Alzheimer's before I'm going to listen to mainstream media. But yeah, I also whether it's true or not, I kind of find the framework in this article to be dishonest. It's like one, I don't like Newsweek, and I never have, and 2, yeah, it's they don't go into depth of why it's fake. It's kind of just more of, oh, they won't let us touch it, therefore it's a hoax. And it's just like, no, there's reasons that if you found something in your country that you think might have advanced tech, you might want to like hold on to it and study it before you give it out to the
world,
collective world forum. Yeah.
Well, then how about this one from June? So this is from iMedia. Yeah. So what new findings are emerging from the analysis of the Buga Sphere? So at this point, remember the Buga Sphere happened in March. This is June of 2025. So it's been about 3 months, give or take. As of June 25th, 2025, material analysis of the Colombian Buga Sphere has yielded the following breakthrough findings compiled from multiple independent research reports. By the way, we will source some of these research reports a little bit later on. Nanoscale fiber optic networks. Microscopic scanning, 2,000 times magnification, shows the presence of a sophisticated fiber-like structure inside the sphere, connecting the copper needle contacts on the surface of the internal core, which is suspected to be a signal transmission system. Now, the fiber-like structure inside the sphere. Let's focus on that for a moment. This is a fancy way of saying fiber optics. Now, there's another interesting fact that gets mixed with a conspiracy theory in terms of fiber optics. Do either of you guys know what that is?
I mean, not.
Did it come out of
maybe if you
nowhere?
tell me.
Define what you mean by come out of nowhere.
Like suddenly we had the technology when before it wasn't discussed?
Okay, so in that regard, yes. Now, to be fair, that's like a lot of technology, but do you have an idea of when that was?
Probably in the late 90s.
Oh, you're gonna have to go back further.
Further? Oh man.
Oh.
80s?
Further.
Oh, are you saying it's a Roswell find?
Bingo, bango, bongo. Yes.
Oh my
so
gosh.
fiber optics came into play in the very early 50s. Almost effectively immediately after the 1947 Roswell incident. So a lot of people think that, microchips as well. So microchips and fiber optics were, inventions that we, were able to create via reverse engineering the, Roswell crash, if you believe in the Roswell crash. So
Oh
what
my
this is saying is that this sphere has, the properties that, again, were similar to what we found in Roswell, 80 years ago.
Holy shit. Well, damn it. It's been 80 years.
Right. Roswell was 47. So I believe next year would be the 80-year anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes, pre-DARPA. I don't know if it's pre-ARPA, but it's pre-DARPA. Because before it was, I don't know when ARPA was founded. And then they added the D in DARPA, and I think the 60s. I could be wrong on that. The network is made of unknown transparent materials and has ultra low optical loss characteristics. What?
Nothing. My buddy Vagabond's in the chat. I love Vagabond.
Hey, what up, Vagabond? Far exceeding
Hey.
the limits of current optical fiber technology. Multi-layer heterogeneous materials. Outer layer. Density is close to that of human bones. Composition is similar to titanium alloy, but contains unknown ultralight elements. Surface temperature does not change after 400 degrees Celsius flame spraying. That, if true, would be wild. 400 degrees Celsius flame spraying,
Ain't
and
no
the
joke.
motherfucker doesn't heat up. I'm gonna need to see some sources. Self-healing properties were detected in the microporous structure, and the damaged area was able to restore integrity within 48 hours. The core is 18 microspheres, are arranged in icosahedral symmetry. Not sure what that means. Icosahedral symmetry. Yeah, that word is beyond me. Containing trace amounts of unknown radioactive isotopes with a half-life estimated to be 12,000 years. So point number 2. Energy and field effect characteristics, dynamic quality mechanism. The weight of the sphere increased from the initial 2 kilograms to 10 kilograms, and then stabilized at 6 kilograms. Theoretical weight of solid metal of the same size is about 80 kilograms, and it still increases slightly at a rate of 0.1% per day. The laboratory speculates that it may be possible to achieve mass changes by manipulating local gravity. Engineer.
Can
Go
I?
for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the icosahedral is basically it's a molecule that is like a 20-sided die.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is the kind of thing the government would not tell us about, so that makes it seem even more fake. So you and I are pretty much along a similar line of thinking. There's a lot here that would be massive implications for the realm of science if it were true. Now, it doesn't mean it's not true, and really, none of this actually means it's inherently extraterrestrial, by the way. It just means that it's tech
Well-
that isn't known to the public. Yeah, go for
Well,
it, Sammy.
keep in mind, the government isn't telling us. Mexico's telling us.
That's true. That's
That-
true. This is being studied again at Mexico's National Autonomous University. So it isn't our government saying this; it is the Mexican researchers.
I wonder what we're gonna get like technologically. Because if you think about it, we've hit like a wall basically when it comes to technology. Are we further advancing AI? Sure, but like technologically, we've hit a wall.
Well,
Um,
I don't think we've hit a wall. I think that
little.
publicly we've hit a wall because the government has tech they don't want us knowing about it. I mean, it's
Mhm.
often said that government tech is roughly 30 years more advanced than what we get publicly. Don't forget, the internet was around in the 60s, but we didn't get it till the 90s.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. But I'm wondering like what we're gonna get now from something like this.
We're gonna get an iPhone that folds and folds again.
What?
So the engineer Garrido observed a slight electromagnetic pulse accompanying the weight change, but no external energy input was detected. Extreme thermodynamic contradiction. The external temperature feels constant at 4 degrees Celsius, similar to a refrigerator, but it vaporizes instantly after being watered. The infrared thermal imager shows there's a high temperature over 150 degrees Celsius inside, but that heat is not conducted to the surface. The vegetation around the crash site was permanently dehydrated, and soil ion analysis showed an abnormally high concentration of anions, suggesting the sphere had released an unknown energy field. Autonomous suspension capability. A team from the National Autonomous University of Mexico confirmed the sphere can offset gravity through the circular electromagnetic field it generates. Theoretically, its magnetic field strength must reach 12 Tesla, equivalent to 20 times that of a medical MRI equipment, but in reality, no strong magnetic field leakage was detected. And then we've got the abnormal environmental interaction. Ecological damage effects. The grass within a 3-meter radius of the crash site continued to die for more than 3 months, and the activity of soil microorganisms dropped to almost zero, which did not match the nuclear radiation or chemical pollution pattern. Contacts report symptoms such as dizziness and vomiting, biological sample testing from non-ionizing damage to lymphocyte DNA, energy decay phenomenon. The intensity of the sphere's ionization field decays by 3% every month. The radioactive isotopes inside show no signs of decay, and the mechanism of energy loss remains a mystery. And then at the very end, we've got controversy in the scientific community. Evidence supporting non-artificial nature. Seamless technology, dynamic mass, thermodynamic isolation, and other features cannot be reproduced using existing technology. Suspected artificial falsification. The microscopic fiber structure is suspected to be a nanoscale 3D printed artwork, but no laboratory has been able to replicate the metal transparent material composite within the same accuracy. The main researcher, Mo Zhang, had a history of falsifying alien mummies, which led to doubts about the credibility of some data. The current conclusion needs to wait for the synchrotron radiation light. That sounds like a fucking Terminator thing or something. The synchrotron radiation light source analysis and reverse engineering report of the multinational laboratory, which is expected to be announced in the second half of 2025. Now, there may have been an announcement in the second half of 2025. But before we get into that, after reading all of this, all of its, physics breaking, breaking the laws of thermodynamics or that energy radiation in a higher dimension. Yeah. So after reading all about these physics breaking attributes, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of weird stuff going on with this thing. A lot of things too. They say it's hard to replicate. My main thing is, did they talk about like how it's getting heavier?
It's getting heavier?
So,
yeah,
sort of. Because we talked about that earlier in this particular article. It was 2 kilograms, jumped up to 10 kilograms, and then it started to stabilize at 6 kilograms. So it actually got heavier, then got lighter.
I wonder if it's like, okay, so that thing floats, right? So I wonder if like the energy it was putting out kept it more in a floaty state. So even though it looked like it was laying
that was
down.
what they said. You may not this is going to sound incredibly douchey, but you might not have understood it because,
I
this
didn't.
article used a lot of big words and stuff. But yes, basically that it was losing energy, which is why it was falling, but falling at that strange rate as opposed to just.
Yeah, that's what I said. It made sense in the video where it looked like almost like a reverse or like a balloon that's losing helium.
Yeah.
But and honestly, the last article I read, I heard it got as heavy as 10 kilograms.
Yeah, that's what it said. So it went from 2 kilograms to 10 kilograms, but then it stabilized and lost weight up to down to 6
Okay, to
kilograms.
6. I didn't hear about this. I didn't read about the stabilization part, but I don't know how you fake that
Yeah.
Well, and so as far as how to
unless
fake
they're
it,
just fucking saying it. Yeah.
and that's the thing that, and we'll get into that once we cover all the lead up stuff, what could and couldn't be faked, what could and couldn't be credible, things like that, because it's a very interesting case. So we've got this. This is from November 2017. Remember that last article said we would get new information in the second half of 2025. This is supposedly that new information. So the Buga metallic sphere claimed to be of alien origins, responding to Sanskrit chants as per viral video. As per viral videos circulating online, a strange metallic object, which is termed the Buga Sphere by the scientists, is said to respond to Sanskrit mantras and Vedic chants. While the validity of this is yet to be established, the videos online show people chanting mantras in front of the intriguing object and recording the intensity of the vibrations it produces in return.
Hay un pico, ¿verdad? Ok, entonces coincidimos en todos los instrumentos, ¿no? A ver,
Are those legit?
igual, por supuesto.
Certainly looks
Wow.
legit.
No hay duda, doctor. No hay duda.
Subimos entonces la frecuencia.
Sí,
What is an
después.
RK560?
No hay duda. No mienten los sensores. ¿Subiste a cuánto?
One is a MIDI radio frequency. That one.
Sigue subiendo.
¿Dónde está? Wow.
And then a tube opens up, and then just a shit ton of popcorn falls out, and like that's the end.
Es oscilante.
XRC. No, XIRC.
Vamos al 1.2 kilohertz. 1.3.
¿Está chequeando?
1.4.
Vean cómo es oscilante.
1.5.
So, yeah, I wonder if one of those exotic materials is that anti-gravity induction element 115 that Bob Lazar was referring to. That is a very interesting theory, especially considering, Bob Lazar is fairly consistent when it comes to his, how he doesn't really believe in whether it's UFOs or doesn't really not whether it's UFOs. He doesn't care whether it's extraterrestrial or not. He just cares about the technological aspect of it. So he doesn't really reference the UFO aspect too terribly much, or the extraterrestrial aspect too fairly often. The sphere was first seen in March 2025. We know this. The skies over Buga. Since then there have been numerous theories about it, and the sphere has been under study by researchers at Mexico's prestigious National Autonomous University. So why the Buga Sphere is such a big deal? As described by Dr. Carlos Munoz, the engineer Rodolfo Garrido during the UNAM hosted press conference organized by Jamie Musan, the microscopic scans reveal complex fiber optic like wiring inside the object, indicating that it could transmit and receive signals. Bizarrely, it also contains a central nucleus, which they call a chip, and is surrounded by 18 microspheres and 3 layers of metal-like material. So here is some of what they had to say. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but...
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for
It
this.
was funny when he
invitation.
said testing. I was like, "Who the fuck did you invite?"
My name is Jose Restrepo. I'm the person who found the sphere. It's very exciting to be here, but I'm nervous at the same time. I'm nervous because obtaining this sphere is like obtaining a signal which is aware, a signal which is conscious, a signal which is peaceful. And I also feel proud because I gave it to David, who's an engineer and who gave it to Mausan. So I feel proud because I told Mr. Mausan, you are a very important person and you can transmit this reality to the world, because there's been other spheres that have been kept secret. So this is unique. And for a citizen, I obtained it. I had physical maladies, but it was just temporal. When I picked it up, my mouth dried up and I had a metallic taste in my mouth. And there are other videos that said that I almost lost my life, that I lost my tooth, that I lost my hair, but those are only rumors, of course.
So now, obviously, let's pair this with the idea that they said that all the plant life and organisms and whatnot in where the sphere landed died.
It's the Tommy knockers.
Yeah.
No, those are the symptoms.
Well, so, in regards to that, completely broke my train of thought.
Sorry.
You're good. Why would it affect, the foliage and the ground organisms by landing there, but not affect him when he picked it up and touched it?
Well, he said it dehydrated him. And
Yeah.
also,
I
like,
guess
if
that's
he-
true. Yeah, it did do a little bit of damage to him if he talks about the dehydration aspect.
Just not for nothing, even though he said it didn't happen, if it dehydrated you enough, like your teeth would fall out. So,
Fair enough. Let's see. It goes on to say, so the object also caused strange effects on the environment. The spot. Okay, yeah, we read that already. Let's scroll through here. All right, so what does the research say? According to research, a unified framework for the Buga Sphere, quantitative validation of a negative mass model governed by topotemporal physics P. Morcillo, the sphere contains an internal network of advanced structures that create something called a negative mass effect, essentially making the object behave as if it weighs less. The network operates under a concept called the axiom of topotemporal reality, which is based on the idea the sphere is interacting with a complex fractal-like version of space and time. Researchers using a new model say the Buga Sphere can reduce its inertia by 81%, move without visible thrust, and emit a steady 100-watt cooling effect. They believe this energy loss comes from how it interacts with space-time, possibly making it real evidence of a new, unexplored branch of physics. If confirmed, this discovery could reshape our understanding of motion, energy, and space itself. It suggests the Buga Sphere might be tapping into hidden properties of the universe, something current physics can't fully explain. Scientists are now calling for more testing to verify these findings and explore the incredible possibilities that it may unlock. Now,
And the U.S. hasn't stepped in at all?
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say they really don't have any grounds to. This is sovereign soil, but we know how much that matters. What just happened with Venezuela? But then again, this thing can't give us oil. So,
yeah.
Now they talk about this research paper. Remember that research paper because we are going to get back to it. But first, I want to share with you guys this post from Dr. Horace Drew. Now, before we do that, does anybody have any initial thoughts or thoughts post that article?
It's a Horus heresy. No. I'm so sorry. I'm on a roll today.
I'm loving it.
My brain stopped functioning. It said, "Quit the
You know,
line."
it's
And that was
fine. We can go into this tweet, but we can go into this post. I just want to make sure before we go deep dive into this, you guys didn't have any follow-ups about what that article presented.
No.
Okay. All right. So this is from Dr. Horace Drew. Now we have 5 ancient past anomalies. First, the symbols of the Buga Sphere seem to be runes from our distant past, which no one today can understand. Second, some of the material from the sphere has apparently been tested by carbon-14 to 10,000 BC. Third, many crop pictures are drawn near ancient megalithic sites, of which the unknown artists seem to have firsthand knowledge. Fourth, a rock was found in New Mexico, carved thousands of years ago, which matches precisely a crop circle from England in 1996. Fifth, 3 images made of gold, silver, and bronze were found by a metal detector under a crop circle from Germany in 1991, which matched the new crop circle image, despite having been buried there for 1,000 years. Incidentally, many images of the Buga orb match modern crop circles. Taken collectively, it would seem that some ancient civilization on Earth may be sending probes and/or messages to their distant future or our present. A famous Inca legend says that the Viracocha will return to our modern through a rip in time. So basically, what this is saying in the King's English is that several of the runic designs on this Buga Sphere match crop circles, and several of those crop circles match ancient carvings that we have found throughout various parts of the world.
That's interesting because I really do wonder if they're actually the cause for crop circles, which would make sense as to why people have never seen them, considering how small they are.
Wait, how small? What are
the Buga Spheres?
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought you meant crop circles. I was like, you are high. Crop circles are massive.
Yeah.
We need to do an
No.
episode on crop circles because so when it comes to crop circles, just quick detour. Again, maybe this will be a full episode. How much? First of all, how much do you guys believe crop circles are real? Like when I say real, that they're extraterrestrial based.
I kind of believe it, especially since I've seen people that explain how if a human does it, the stalks break. But with these appropriate crop circles, they're not. They're fine. They could still grow and stuff.
Sammy, what about you? By the way, Cindy, you were entirely correct in that.
Yes, I believe in everything Cindy just said. I also just kind of like the aspect that I just heard in this article that it's past civilizations making them and not extraterrestrial. It's a time thing where
Ooh.
maybe somehow they were made devices that program the land to make these crop circles rather than alien intervention. That's an interesting idea when you
Well-
think about like these spheres being something that's from 10,000 BC. Like if they could make something that would work like this, why the hell not?
So when it comes to crop circles, I could be misremembering the stats, but it's something like this. While 97% are provably human, there's about 3% that scientists have no fucking clue on. And those are the ones like that Cindy was talking about, for example, where the physics of how they are made make no goddamn sense. And then when you apply like certain geometric mathematics to them and whatnot, they follow like the golden ratio and these certain mathematic properties that are universal. So crop circles would be a very interesting episode to do because that is an interesting parallel. Unfortunately, this is the only piece of data I found that mentions the crop circles, but that previous article did mention a paper. Empirical validation of the unified anomalous physics, a quantitative retroengineering of the Buga Sphere. So this is written in July of 2025 by Patrick Marcello. Empirical data from the recovered Buga Sphere artifact presents a set of quantitatively measured yet physically paradoxical phenomenon. The object exhibited a drastic apparent mass shift of 8.1 kilograms, generated silent, non-ejected propulsion, and sustained a 100-watt endothermic signature triad of behaviors, which are mutually exclusive under standard physical laws. The paper performs a rigorous empirical retroengineering of the sphere's dynamics to find a single self-consistent physical model that can quantitatively reproduce all observations. We demonstrate that a model based on the internal network of engineering inclusions generating an 8.1 kilogram negative mass effect is the only framework that succeeds. Crucially, the physics governing the system show to be a direct application of the axiom of topotemporal reality, a theory itself derived from the empirical measurements of fractal scaling and other complex systems. The success of this unified framework, matching for the entirety of the empirical data, suggests the Buga Sphere is not an anomaly, but the first physical validation of technology based on the fractal geometry of space-time itself. Now, I read this paper. All 30 pages of it. Empirical validation of unified anomalous physics, a quantitative retroengineering of the Buga Sphere. Let me tell you guys, I'll be real. I do not understand the vast majority of this for very obvious reasons.
Have you put it through Chat GPT?
So I did run it through AI after reading it, and it basically told me, and that's why I was getting to the point where I didn't understand most of it. The conclusion I did come to was exactly what Chat GPT told me, which was this isn't real physics. However, that doesn't mean that it's inherently wrong. What they did was they started with an end goal, which is if this thing was breaking the laws of physics, let's reverse engineer that and see how we would have to change our understanding of the laws of physics to make this thing possible. So this is incredibly theoretical if we're being generous. It basically starts with the conclusion and works backwards to make the conclusion work instead of starting with what we know and getting to a conclusion from there. It is a very dense work, but it seems, again, highly theoretical. And before we get further, Obi-Wan Kenobi with a 2-banger. Golden ratios? Cinevere has 2 golden ratios. Oh,
Hell yeah.
I see what you did there.
More like Cinesphere.
In
I
fact,
like
if you guys want to read this, you will have to download the PDF. It is completely free. I will go ahead and post it in the chat real quick.
Killer Mike.
And then we've got This one right here. Buga Sphere, the Buga Sphere metallurgical analysis and preliminary summary. That's from October of last year, October 2025. Now, this is from Dr. Something Greer. I'm blanking on his name. Dr. Stephen Greer. The Buga Sphere has been a carbon-14 dated by the University of Georgia at 12,560 years old. This is 8,000 years older than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Metallurgical analysis at a separate certified lab found the sphere is an aluminum alloy, including several rare earth elements with electrical and magnetic uses. Some of these elements were not known to human science until the late 1800s and 1900s. This aluminum alloy composition does not match any known existing alloy. Aluminum was not industrialized until after 1876, when the technology for refining it was invented. Before then, aluminum was rarer and more valuable than gold. The shell of the Buga Sphere has components woven into it, including fiber optic material. Unlike modern manufacturing technology, it is more akin to sophisticated 3D printer. Note, the fiber optics were the result of the study of crashed extraterrestrial craft recovered after the 1940s and after. Two independent linguistic experts have concluded the symbols on the Buga Sphere are a type of Proto-Sanskrit. Translations indicate a warning about some cosmic radiation or astronomical event that could affect Earth's geophysical stability. Note, the Buga Sphere dates from 12,560 years ago, around the end of the last ice age, which for any of you guys that are familiar with some of the more crazy theories out there that I happen to believe in, we're talking about the Younger Dryas period, which some believe ended due to some global catastrophic event. We now have 5 independent videos of 5 separate, apparently identical Buga Spheres operating in the general region of Buga, Colombia, South America. Only one has been retrieved physically. While it is unknown if these objects have been activated after 12,560 years, I hypothesize that some magnetic field anomalies have been detected, and they are an early warning technology of a future geophysical event that could be catastrophic. Now, as for me, I'm thinking polar shift. Note that, by the way, that was me adding that. That's not in the paper. That's just where my mind goes. Polar shifts. If you guys don't know what those are, they're terrifying. Don't look into them. You'll have an existential crisis. Note, the scientists have been mapping a large area of magnetic field changes over that part of South America. Preliminary conclusions: the Buga Spheres are likely of extraterrestrial and or non-human origins, or from an unknown Earth civilization with advanced technology, including anti-gravity propulsion and energy generation, non-nuclear, from an Earth-based civilization likely had contact with and technology from extraterrestrial civilizations. The activation of these Buga Spheres may be an early warning technology of a possible significant civilization-changing event in the relatively near future. National security and global security authorities should be made aware of this pending future development. We continue to do further research on the Buga Sphere. This is dated October 17, 2025. Dr. Stephen Greer, director of the Disclosure Project, Washington, D.C., USA. So, that is the last bit of information we have to go over concerning the validity of the sphere. And now we'll get into our thoughts on this before we do some potential debunking.
I want to believe.
I do too. When are we going to get hoverboards, since this thing is capable?
I'll be real. That's the least of my concerns.
I know.
Hoverboards be cool and all that, but I mean, we're talking temporal qualities here. We're talking rifts in space-time. So
no, that is scary. Like, I don't think humans should be anywhere near that.
Mrs. 3P just set something on the table next to me, and my soul just left my body up.
All right, what was it?
Sammy's a cat.
No, it was just a another drink for me.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm trying to rehydrate,
yeah.
you know.
So do we have any thoughts? Basically, where are you guys standing on the validity of the Buga Sphere as of right now before we get into any sort of debunking?
I like to think it's real. There's so many awesome things that, you know, they said. It was like, oh, and would it be so bad if it changed our mind on how we view physics and things? So, you know, it was like, you know, there's a lot of groundbreaking things that, you know, changed the way that we viewed things, and it was like it's a wonderful thing, I guess, to hope for, but you know, it's very likely that it's not real as well, but I would like to think that it is.
Cindy, what about you?
I kind of have to mirror his sentiments here. Is like, I really do want to believe that this is real. So I am going to hold out hope, but also it kind of worries me because you're saying like temporal stuff is possible with this thing. And that scares the hell out of me.
Well, let's get into so we've established all the what's been publicly acknowledged and publicly disclosed. So let's get into where this information comes from, because at the end of the day, if you're just reading stuff on the internet doesn't make it true. You actually follow the sources. So let's first start with the guy that made the crop circle claim, Dr. Horace Drew. So what's the over-under for you guys on him being a real doctor?
It's easy to throw the moniker of doctor or like the title of doctor on you.
Sammy?
I'm gonna say there's a 70% chance he's not a doctor.
He's not a doctor. Okay, so yes, he is a real doctor. Dr. Horace Drew is a real doctor. His doctorate though is in chemistry. So when he's discussing all the ancient history and the crop circles, things to that effect, again, I don't want to make an appeal to credentialism here and say that he can't be knowledgeable about this stuff.
Yeah.
I will say it's not his expertise. He is a chemist. In fact, he's quite a famous chemist. He did a lot of work with the U.S. government in the early 90s in regards to like studying DNA and things to that effect. So he's very well regarded in that sense, but he has no background in any of these, sort of like physical, any like physics or anything to that effect. What about the second guy we referred to, Dr. Stephen Greer? What are your thoughts on him if you had to wager a guess?
I'm still hitting with the not a doctor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with not a doctor.
He is also a doctor.
Son of a bitch.
I know.
But what kind of doctor do you think he is?
A love doctor.
A pediatrician.
Actually, Cindy, you're close. He was a medical doctor. Yeah, he's an MD. So he was a medical doctor. He had a private practice. I don't know if he still has, but had a private practice, the whole nine. He is the founder of the Disclosure Project. But we'll get into the Disclosure Project stuff here in a minute. But so yeah, Stephen Greer, also a doctor, but once again, being a medical doctor, no expertise in like metallurgy and stuff to that effect. So while he can have knowledge and be a smart guy and maybe be informed on this sort of stuff, he isn't. It's not his area of expertise. It's not his area of study. So all these guys that are reporting this are both doctors. They're doctors who are making these claims outside of their field of study. Zax with a 5-banger. Tinfoil haters investigate Candace Owens win. A very special episode. I've spent so much time covering her on the regular channel. I don't really know what sort of conspiracy we could even come up with in regards to that dumb hoe. But if something comes out that's interesting, by all means, that could make a good episode. Thanks a million, Zax. I appreciate you, homie. This is for you.
I just super love sucking dick. When I haven't for a while, I get near.
Anyway,
was that an offer?
Let's go back to that 30-page paper. What do you guys make of, again, you saw those mathematical formulas and whatnot. What do you think is the validity of that paper?
You know what? I hate those type of things because it feels like academia for the sake of academia. It was like you're trying to replicate the broken toy instead of like figure out why the toy got broken or what happened in the first place. It's a paper for the sake of a paper. It was like the point of this paper is we don't know, and here's why we don't know. It's just like, well, you could have said that, and it comes across as like pompous and unneeded. But then again, it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo I don't understand, so that could just be me going like, "Fuck you, smart guys." Like, but no, it does feel like it's like it's flaunting. It was like, we don't know it is, but here's why we don't know it is. It's like, okay, well then you still don't know. Yeah.
Cindy, what about you?
Well, I don't know which one wrote that paper that you had to put through ChatGPT.
Neither. This paper was written by an individual named Patrick Morcillo. So he's a third player. Patrick Morcillo. I should have said that at the beginning. My bad. Patrick Morcillo wrote that paper.
He's also like a nightmare of a Reddit mod.
Is he?
No, I'm just guessing.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what to think. Like, I wasn't expecting them to be doctors, and then doctors that normally wouldn't have anything to say in this field. So I'm kind of confused on it. I would have to, I guess, know more.
Well, good, because I'm gonna tell you more. And Sammy was sort of onto something. So there's a crucial bit of information I left out about this paper, and I left it out intentionally because it does sound very official. You know, it's got all the mathematical equations, everything. It sounds very official. But here's the dealio. It is not a peer-reviewed studied paper. That is not recognized academically whatsoever. It is what this paper effectively is it is a trial paper, a preliminary paper. It is just laying the groundwork for something that might be used later if it's considered a valid theory, if scientists want to pursue this line of thinking, if it could they could then actually come up with theories and ways to test. So basically, it is literally what ifery, and then do you take the and then proposing it to the scientific community to do you guys take this what ifery seriously? So it is a real paper. It's just got no, at the current time, scientific backing or peer reviews or anything to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, that's how all science starts. It's just they haven't gotten the wheels turning on it yet to actually get those things out there. But like, yeah, for very much now, it's a very well worded and ostentatious nothing burger. It's because you haven't tested anything yet.
And there's one more aspect of this that this is what has me the most skeptical. Here's something I started, inadvertently digging into when doing all the research for this. So the Dr. Stephen Greer guy, the guy that we went over last, he had the 2-page paper that I read through completely, right? He is the founder of the Disclosure Project. The Disclosure Project started in, I believe, 1992, which is a private project that's, generates revenue through donations of those both in and out of the project, as well as being paid for speaking engagements, producing documentaries, things to that effect, to try and effectively coerce world governments into this disclosure, hence the Disclosure Project, which sounds like a noble goal, right? Like, hey, you want people out here trying to, convince the government to release anything we have on UFOs. But I started questioning the Disclosure Project, and I can't confirm or deny any of this. This is just all sort of my own conspiracy theory that I came up with while reading through this. So the Disclosure Project, being private, does not have any public financial backing. You can't see who backs it financially. I tried looking to see if it had any ties to USAID or any sort of NGOs. There are no public ties to USAID or NGOs. They have put on speaking engagements for notable politicians and scientists. For example, they've put on speaking engagements for John Podesta. So like that's one notable name.
I don't know who that is.
Bigwig senator from the late 90s or 2000s, if I recall.
Okay.
I'll fact check real quick. Because I might be he was the former White House chief of staff. That's what it is. He was the White House chief of staff.
Okay.
Anyway, so and he was one of the ones, if I remember right, Podesta also had made financial donations to the individuals that ended up taking over Skinwalker Ranch, if I recall. But I could be misconstruing two other politicians there. But yeah, USAID never funded cool shit. Yeah, I was using USAID as an example, but yeah, basically any sort of NGO or any sort of government funding. So if you are going to run an organization like this and you don't make who's funding you or donating anything public, and you just say we exist off of private donations, off of the goodwill of others, as well as the documentaries and stuff we put out, as well as speaking engagements. I mean, it makes it hard to follow the money, and following the money is what will always give you your answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, we also have, and we'll probably need to do an entire episode on this guy because he's come up a couple times during other shows we've done. Richard Doty. Now, do you know who Richard Doty is?
Wasn't he part of the oh gosh, what is his name? The blonde thing. that took over the TV? Max Headroom.
Oh no, not at all. So Richard Doty was he's at the CIA or FBI, I don't remember which, but he was a paid government disinformation agent. What he would do, he was under order by the 3-letter organization that he worked with. Because again, I can't remember if it was CIA or FBI. I'd have to fact check that. To go to like UFO conventions and things like that to spread disinformation, to tell fake UFO stories and pretend they were real, to try to give false witness testimony, things like that. And he was on government payroll doing this, basically trying to sow discord. Was it Air Force? I think Grimlock. All right, Air Force.
It was the Air Force. We talked about him specifically on this show.
Yeah, he's come up on several other Alien episodes. We've never actually done a deep dive on him, which I feel like it should be done. But so he was a paid government operative whose entire job was sow discord within the UFO community, within the disclosure movement, things like that. And it makes me wonder if the Disclosure Project could be something similar. Why is all of your information private? And then you're out here doing all of this, being a proponent for UFO/UAP disclosure. You've been doing it for fucking 33-ish years. Yeah, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. And Doty is an interesting case. Now, again, there's no ties to the two. I'm laying out Doty's backstory because it to me sounds like you can draw some parallels to the Disclosure Project. Doty has since come out in the last several years and said he actually does believe in UFOs, does believe in UAPs, that all the disclosure stuff that he was, or all the discord he was sowing at the behest of the U.S. government was because it is all real. And like, how do you believe somebody like that when their entire career was to lie? Again, I'm getting similar vibes from the Disclosure Project. It'd be great if they were on the up and up and they were all for disclosure and they were a completely clean organization. But anytime you can't follow the money, it makes me weary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And then like saying that, oh no, we want to make sure that you know about all this stuff, but hide everything. It's subterfuge. It's like sleight of hand.
Well, especially because that information that came from Dr. Horace, the information that came from Dr. Greer, none that one paper, none of it is sourced or peer reviewed. All that information is, here's what we've discovered. Trust me, bro. Where are your sources? Where's your citations? Where's your bibliography? All this sort of stuff. And it's just, this is what they're telling us with no proof beyond we've got these couple of videos that honestly don't tell us much unless you know what you're looking at. And I'll be real. While the videos look cool, I'm not intelligent enough to know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's, to me, the evidence outweighs the belief factor in that, is the Buga Sphere real? Yes, physically it is a real object, and yes, it is being studied at the Mexican Autonomous University. Everything else beyond that, the carbon dating age of it, it being over 10,000 years old, it emitting all these electromagnetic fields, the way it's got these heat signatures, whatnot. None of that sourced. Therefore, and all the people talking about it are suspect at best. So needless to say, I've personally come to the conclusion that the Buga Sphere is either a distraction, woefully overblown, one of those two things. It is clearly a real physical object, but the stories around it are either pretty much just modern myth, or this is a distraction for something else.
For sure. I mean, yeah, because they got those stories where like it vibrates when you sing to it in Sanskrit, and it was like, okay, says who?
So, yeah, at the end of the day, I guess I'm curious. After I've laid out this potential debunked information, what side do you guys think holds more water? What do you believe? Where are you at on this? Sammy, we'll start with you.
Oh, I hope there's a guy like an alchemist with a 3D printer just laughing his ass off. Like I said, I love the idea of this. but it right now it's pretty out there. The video is a very strong video. Like I said, it's an 8-minute uncut. You don't lose a lot of sight of it. You see it, kind of gradually going down. It doesn't look like something on a wire or something that's been.
All right, so here's my real quick thing, because I do agree with you about your assessment of the video. What do you think is, but just between these two, more likely extraterrestrial origin or like some sort of government tech that we caught on camera and now is being obfuscated as ET because the government doesn't want us to know what they've got?
Oh, that could be very possible.
Ooh, yeah, I want to go with extraterrestrial, but honestly, I kind of think it's old tech that kind of made its way through, like it served a purpose and like it got launched for some reason or another and it just malfunctioned. It's something that's been around forever. We just haven't been able to track them, and the only reason we tracked this one is because it ran into a power line and got damaged.
Well, real quick, pull up Jake's comment again. So, can you explain what you mean when you say hoax? Because I don't think that this is a quote unquote hoax, since we know the object physically exists, but I do think it is that it's heavily over exaggerated. There's a lot of media and government misinformation around the object. So if that's what you mean when you say hoax, I would agree. If when you say hoax, you mean none of it's real to begin with, I do disagree with that, because again, we can confirm it is an item that's physically being studied at the Autonomous University in Mexico. So while you're giving the update on what you mean, Jake, Sammy, do you have anything else to add, or Cindy?
Yeah, no, I'm actually changing my answer now just because of what Jake said about the ruins being on the nose. That's precisely something that the government would put on there to throw people off track. It's government tech.
What about you, Cindy?
I had a thought, and I've been trying to collect it again. I don't know. I want I want to believe. I really do. I'm kind of wondering if this is like a subterfuge move. Like, oh, this is what we're found. Are they really studying it? Yeah, you put up an EMF reader or like some kind of radio frequency reader. Sure, that's going to put out some signs and stuff. That's easy to replicate. But like, are they actually studying it? Is my question.
Well, I would imagine they are actually studying it, and the reason I think they're actually studying it is because, like, first of all, it costs money to study shit. We do have, videos and whatnot of them studying it. Again, we've got the confirmation that it's at the university. That money doesn't grow on trees. It's got to come from somewhere. Now, who's funding the study? Whether they're being misled or whether, I do. If it wasn't actually being studied, this seems like something that would have been swept under the rug or whatnot. So really, I guess the question is it really being studied? It is, how is it being studied? What's it being studied for? What's the application? How much accurate information they have to go off of? Like all the whys and hows as opposed to is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Real quick, let's go ahead and hit this right here.
Well, Jake did give you an answer, by the way.
I think someone on purpose built that thing, but I can't say for sure. Okay, all right. You and I are yes, I agree in that regard. Absolutely. Johnny came in with a 10-banger. My first guess is always the government is up to something. That is a base as fuck first guess. And I'm sure Cindy and Sammy are getting tired of seeing it by now because I play it for him backstage, but I'm going to give you guys the new clip.
Plan B! This is for everyone you've killed! England, murderer! Hold your fire! This man isn't black!
Yeah, I'm never tired of it.
I still say you need that clip of him like joyriding with Piccolo.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to throw in there. You're right. I might need to edit this just a little bit and add in the joyride stuff.
Also, the government is up to something should be another Tinfoil Haters t-shirt.
That's the government is up to everything.
Yes.
It's not something, it's everything.
All of it.
Actually, the government is up to something crossed off, then everything.
Yes.
I think that's even better. Alrighty, so yeah, I think that we've got the Buga Sphere. I mean, I'd say thoroughly, if not completely debunked. I think we've debunked enough to I can pretty confidently say that at least until we get more sourced and accurate information, this is not extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, with that being said, we're going to start wrapping up. Also, quick note as of now before we do outros and whatnot. Don't forget, for all members, especially members in the Discord, there is a watch party tonight in about an hour and 45 minutes, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Get y'all's time zones right. We will be watching Cocaine Bear in the Discord as a party. So if you guys want to partake in that, if you're a member in the Discord, all you do is just go to the Discord and click the watch party section. We'll be in there tonight in about an hour and 45 minutes watching Cocaine Bear. And then we'll have another watch party in about on Thursday. So with that being said, I'm going to find out who we're raiding into. And while I do that, Sammy, let's do some outros.
You want to go
Cindy might
first?
hear you go first. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you.
Well, hey there, guys. I have a really easy week this week because I am leaving to go visit family on the 9th. I was going to consider leaving on Thursday, but it is BMO's birthday week. So I'm spending it with him. We are going to be streaming on his channel on Wednesday and Thursday. I also have my own stream tonight after Tinfoil Haters at 11:50 p.m. CST. So come hang out. And then I will be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday.
Excellent. You'll love to see it. I've got the raid set up, by the way, for Lumi. Lum. We love Lumi. We love Lum. It needs to be getting her back on the show.
Yeah, we
so
do.
that's what we're raiding into. Sammy, tell the people who you are, what you do, what you got going on, the whole nine.
I'm Sammy 3-Pete on all platforms. I'm a Detroit-based musician, but sometimes I have my buddies on my streams on the weekend. I haven't been doing it lately because I've been sick as a dog since the year started. Now feeling good again. So this weekend we will be on Cavecast. We'll be covering Batmite, which is an episode I've been looking forward to for a long time. And then who knows what trickery the world has in stores for us in other news this Sunday. But we will be returning.
You'll love to see it. As for me, videos and streams every day. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with Leon's lunch hour, around the lunch hour, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, give or take. Videos every day as well. If you guys have not checked out today's video about some of what's going on in the gaming sphere with Atlas, video game company Atlas, famous for Persona, Metaphor Fantasio, Shin Megami Tensei, the whole nine, and the fucking egregious statements they have made, definitely watch that video. I put a lot of passion into that one as someone who is a just ardent fan of the Persona series. So yeah, please do check that out. Videos tomorrow, streams tomorrow. We are raiding into Lumi, so I want to make sure you guys all tell Lumi in the Discord or in the chat. Vital Idol raid. Thank you so much to everybody that donated. This is a great show. As always, we will be back same Tinfoil Hater time, same Tinfoil Hater channel next week. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise. Don't forget about the watch party.